What's up everyone on the internet? Thank you for making this video part. I'm so excited to upload this one for you guys because for this video, this is the home edition of Talk Around the Block, or as I like to call it, it's the quarantined edition. Now, normally I would film these videos outdoors, walking around the neighborhood with my dog, but with more COVID-19 cases increasing by the day, I figured that, hey, so look, in order to keep everyone else safe and healthy, I decided that I'm going to be doing the next videos for Talk Around the Block in the comfort of my home on a treadmill, and which is something I'm not really used to right now. So I figured, hey, for this video, why don't we just talk about why I love walking so much and why I prefer walking outdoors instead of on a treadmill in a gym. So when it comes to being fit and staying healthy, I prefer to mostly walk. I do mostly cardio work. And not really much of a runner. I mean, I hated it when I was a kid. I really hated going to gym in school because I really wasn't that much of a good runner. I mean, I could throw, I could catch. I love playing baseball when I was a kid. But for me, it's like as I got older, I feel like, you know, if I'm gonna stay fit, at least I'm just gonna walk. I'm just gonna do some cardio, just walk around the neighborhood. It's not like much of an even area. There's a lot of mountains and a lot of hills for me to cover, which is good because I usually build up a good sweat. And most of the walks I used to do, they would last about 40 minutes. And there's some ones that were like, okay, look, I want to take a quick walk, so I'll just do one for about 20 minutes. It's a 20-minute walk. That'll be good enough for me for that day. And a few months ago, I went to the doctor just to get a regular checkup, just to see if everything was going all right, everything's staying okay. And the doctor told me, saying like, hey, you have a lot of carbs in your diet, and we can tell from your bloodstream that you have a lot of white blood cells in you. And now it's not that bad right now, but once you get older, it's going to be very hard on you because those white blood cells are going to be basically overprotecting you. And from what I remember, that he said that once you get very older, you're going to have a lot more heart attacks. And I was like, ooh, I don't want that when I'm older. And so what he told me was, hey, look, so what you can do is cut back on the carbs and just take an hour workout a day. And so that's when I realized, okay, look, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna cut out as much carbs as I can from my diet, and at the same time, I'm gonna be extending my 40-minute walks to an hour-long walks around the neighborhood. And that was in October, and since then, my diet has basically, hey, look, eat a good-sized breakfast, take just a small lunch, and not even just a lunch, just have a snack, have a granola bar or maybe a banana or an orange, just to hold you up until dinner. And then for dinner, you can have a decent sized meal. At the same time, in the morning, I will basically get up and go for an hour-long walk with my dog. And that was in October, and since then, I've lost about 5 pounds, and I weighed about, basically, if I can remember correctly, I weighed about 233 pounds, I think. That was when they weighed me. And I was like, okay, that's not that bad. I mean, I was expecting a lot worse. I thought it was gonna be 240 or something, but it was 233. And I weighed myself, I think it was in January. I weighed myself in January, and that was with my new diet. And from that time, I had lost about 5 pounds. I think it was I was 228. I was like, it works. It works. I mean, you don't have to go to a gym or to lift weights and stuff just to lose a few pounds. You can just make small adjustments to your diet and to your daily routine. And that's what basically I did. All I did was I took out as much carbs as I could, and I ate a little bit less. And I basically decided, okay, look, I'm just gonna skip lunch, have a small snack, go to dinner. And with that, including my hour-long workouts, it's basically shaved a few pounds, and that's so great. Because for me, basically, I'm not really much a gym person. I don't like going to a gym because for me, I think the gym is the most intimidating thing I could go to, because I'm seeing guys and my cousins are very fit, and they like going to the gym and working out. And they keep telling me, Adam, hey, why don't you come to the gym with us, man? Hey, why don't you come down this weekend? We'll go to the gym, we'll work out. I'm like, no, I don't like going to the gym because I just feel like I feel like I'm there are men there working out. I'm a boy, I'm a nerdy boy right now. I don't think I'd fit in that place. So I decided the best way for me to just lose some weight, I think, is just doing what I like, which is walking. And I love walking so much because in the morning when you see me do my Talk Around the Block videos, for me it's so pure silence. I love just feeling the cold air in my face. I love hearing the birds chirp. I love just walking my dog around while I'm listening to music. And I think for that time, I love how like I can just gather my thoughts all together. I don't have to worry about anything that's going on at home. I can just almost tune everything out and just focus on my walk and enjoy listening to music while I think of any new ideas I have for future videos, or if I have like anything for school. And right now it's like what's going on with COVID-19 spreading around. Like I was gonna walk and I realized that a lot of people like are in my city, they're still walking around, but we found out that there are a few cases in where I live. I think it was up to 22, I think. And I realized that, look, I don't want to get anyone sick in my family, so I decided that I'm going to be doing the Talk Around the Block videos on the treadmill. And I don't know if you can tell, I mean, I'm almost out of breath because even walking and talking on a treadmill, it still takes a few breath away from me because just talking right now to you guys, it's like my lungs are just like it's taking breath out of me. And when it comes to walking, I really love walking in the morning because for me, I like to get up really early, and early for me is I think at about like 5:30 or 6, and I like to walk around 6:30 to 7. Like I'll walk around that time. Like if it's 6:30, I'll do an hour-long walk, get home at 7:30, or if it's 7, do an hour-long walk, get home at 8, and I won't like basically. When I go home, I'll just basically just sit outside in the nice cool shade and just recover from my walk and just think about what's going on right now. Maybe go through my phone, check my emails, and I'll do all that before breakfast, and which is good because I mean I don't like to eat breakfast and then just do this whole workout thing. So now that I'm doing these Talk Around the Block videos at home, I also have to be kind of courteous with everyone else, because for me, like, while I do love walking in the morning, everyone else in my house is basically sleeping, and so I had to make sure that when I filmed this first Talk Around the Block video on the treadmill, I had to make sure that hey, everyone's up basically, because no one wants to wake up like hearing this sound, like no one wants to wake up like just hearing like the treadmill going off, or just me talking to absolutely no one. I'm pretty sure right now someone's probably at the door right now, and they're probably just listening to this conversation I'm having with you guys, and right now they're probably thinking, is Adam all right? Is Adam just talking to himself, or like is he filming a video right now? And so I'm pretty much expecting like someone to knock on the door right now and just to tell me, hey, look, you need to keep it down right now. So this is my second time on the treadmill, because yesterday was actually my first time, and I think for the first time I actually learned how to work this thing was I basically just like, after I got up running, I basically just popped in my headphones and was just walking to the beat of the music that I was listening to, and I figured that, hey, you know what, after every song I'm gonna increase the pace on the treadmill, so that way it's like I'm getting to the point where it's like I'm not really running, but I'm walking more fast, and I'm like burning more calories. And I'm looking at this little screener here on my treadmill, and it's telling me the distance I've ran, the time, the calories and fats. And yesterday when I was looking at this, I was like, why is this thing so flashing so much? I don't get this. What are these numbers for? And it wasn't like after I think an hour of walking on this thing where I realized, oh, that's the number of calories I burned, and that's the distance I've traveled. What I also really like about this thing is also like there's also a clock on here that's telling me how long I've been walking, and which is good. I mean, it's good to keep track of things. Another thing that's also helpful is that it does tell me how many calories I'm burning, but I don't mean to toot my own horn, but I feel like I burn a lot more calories when I'm walking outside, because I think the neighborhood I live in, it's very hilly. I mean, there's a lot of hills. It's not very even. On the treadmill, I have it laid flat. But when I'm walking outside, I'm going through a lot of hills, I'm going up and down, I'm climbing a lot of things, and so I feel like I burn a lot more calories on that. And so the first time I did this, after like an hour of walking, it said I burned about 100 calories, and I was like, okay, that's pretty nice, that's pretty good, that's a good start. Then I realized, you know what, I burn a lot more when I'm walking outside. So if you're wondering, yeah, this is a picture that my dad drew back when he was in high school. Same thing with this one back here. And I think it's pretty cool because he put them right here near the treadmill, and I think looking at it right now, it gives me the motivation to, just to work out. But it also kind of reminds me of how very artistic my dad is. And I love how that when I come in here, I look at these pictures and it's like, yeah, like I like to think that I've inherited a lot of his creativity in him, and it's inspired me to do a lot more like creative projects outside of YouTube right now. You know, it's also just occurred to me right now that I don't have like the safety tag on right now, so if I fall, I'm basically screwed right now. Also, one thing I really wish I had right now was that I really wish I had like a green screen right here, so that way like it would make this a lot more entertaining for you guys. I mean, you could see me just walking around, like, I don't know, we can have me walking around some sort of dense forest, or I can be walking around space right now. And you know, it's funny because back when I was in high school, I watched like Lord of the Rings for the first time, and I was like, oh wow, this is so cool. This is pretty awesome. I love, one of my favorite moments in the Two Towers is seeing Aragorn, Legolas, and Gimli just run across the area, like they're just running to get to the two hobbits that have been kidnapped. And I always love that. And for me, like that's kind of like almost my running theme, like the bum 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 ba da 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 da. And I remember this. I remember like I was in shot put training, and I remember I was basically just lifting weights, and I was doing a little bit of cardio work, and I figured like, I looked at my brother and I said, hey, you want to go for a run? And I'm not a runner, and so basically we ran, and I swear to God that it was basically like the movie where my brother was Legolas and he was like a mile ahead of me, and I was Gimli, and I was just like and I'm like just thinking to myself, like I'm mostly a short distance runner. I'm not that much of a long distance kind of person. And I remember like in high school, for our final track meet, they had something called the Fat Man Relay. And what that is that it's basically have all the shot puts run the, I forget the name of that race. It's the one where you have the pole and you're sticking across to get to the next person. I'm blanking out right now. But I remember I basically ran like my life depended on it. And you know what? My team still lost. So I'm looking at the clock right now on the treadmill, and it says that I basically walked for about almost half an hour. And that's pretty good. I mean, that means I got basically another 30 minutes left. And so I just remember something that yesterday, after I finished for the first time on the treadmill, the funniest thing was that my body was not really adjusted to the fact that it was walking in one place constantly. And when I got off the treadmill, it's like every time I took a step forward, it was like the whole room was just coming at me. It almost felt like I was like making the jump to light speed in Star Wars, and that was pretty cool. And the funny thing is that while I was walking, and normally I'll do this often when I'm walking, regardless whether I'm in here or out there, but when I'm listening to music and I'm walking at the same time, I'll do a little dancing, I'll do like a little bit of like, yeah, just give a little pizzazz to my little walk, give a little bit of a flavor. And so when I'm walking in here, I was like, well, you know what, no one's about to watch me. I'm like, doors closed. I mean, there's no one outside to watch me right now. I figured, hey, you know what, let's just cut loose. Let's just dance. Let's just have a little bit of fun on the treadmill. And I would often like, yeah, do a little bit of dancing and just have some fun on this thing, which would also lead to like cases where I would kind of misplace my footing and just be like, just like almost collapsing on this thing. And I think right now is that what's going on right now, I think I have some form of entertainment right now while I'm walking, and so I figured like, hey, let's just have a little fun on this thing. Well, that's gonna do it for this video, guys. This was the first home edition of Talk Around the Block. If you have any questions or topics you want me to discuss in the next Talk Around the Block, feel free to leave them in the comments down below. If you like what you saw, click the subscribe button so you can always updates from this channel. Stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll see you next time with a brand new video. Bye-bye.